So hello everyone, and we are painting an entrance door to a villa house that has a very interesting path leading to it and some very impressionist style bushes. So our plan for today is to use very pale tones for the entrance part to keep it very light with those also the red shadows, but the shadows also kind of very light blue color, and the path. And of course, one can create own meaning for this symbolic thing as a door and the path. So I can also think maybe of some aims or whatever. And bushes. So I like really this. So yeah, sorry, I haven't mentioned we are using the reproduction image of German painter Maria Slavona. And so I really like this concept that this entrance area is very light and the bushes are very colorful and active. So this one we will keep. But the thing I would like to experiment is doing bushes without green color. So let's say this upper part I have for door and entrance area, and those colors that I'm still not sure which of them I'm gonna use, all of them or some of them, maybe some others will come in, but this will be experiment with the bushes. Yeah, so we're painting with acrylics, maybe palette knife will also come into game. We just see how it goes. So setting paints to the side. I need bigger table, definitely. Okay, and starting sketch. So what I would say is important is definitely the size of the door. So we can even measure, let's say, yeah, the typical measuring technique. We can take a pencil and say how much size the door takes of the painting. Yeah, so we see that the size of the door is actually also the size of the path. And then we have also upper part a bit smaller. So yeah, if you make the door too big, it will not then look deep inside. Yeah, so I would suggest then, let's say, yeah, we can divide maybe our paper to 3 parts, just like, but then we can also play. So here on the side, just where I have the tape, measure these 2 lines, and then I can kind of play around. So where my door can start. Yeah, and maybe even higher. So I already feel I want it maybe a bit more far away. So yeah, the classical rules of perspective. So if you want something that it's closer, I draw it lower on the page. And if I want something that feels more far away, I draw it more higher. So then if I put my door a bit more higher, yeah. And then we can also play with those vertical lines of the entrance. Yeah, and I'm still not getting into, oh, camera focus. No, today doesn't want to focus. Okay, back to focus, nice. So I'm still not getting into the details of the doors because I'm still like, need to get sure it's the right size, yeah? And then of course, now I sketch my path. So then I'm also kind of happy with it. Now I notice there are some stairs there. That's, I think, also nice element. Yeah, because we can also then see the light, yeah? There is like the light line, the shadow line, light, so it gives us, so what I actually draw, I'm gonna just draw 3 lines for stairs now. And again, a bit maybe higher still. Somehow, I don't know why. I will not get into the psychological things if the door is small or big. And as Karen has noticed, there is also a balcony on top. That is, of course, very cool. So we can also sketch and implement Okay, I'll try sketching a bit more harder so it's more visible. And again, so if you want something on the balcony, then of course, then you maybe leaving more space in there. I don't know. I'm still not sure. Maybe I'll later put maybe some flowers there. Like I like flowers when people put flowers on the balcony hanging. Yeah. But then definitely there are some lines that would be a bit crucial to also to show this deepness, like this corner here. So we have here, so it's a column coming down, and then we see it's from both sides. So we see this frontal part, but then we also see then this line going in. So like with this, it's a very small line, but it gives a very good feeling of these. So it's going again. And actually what I've noticed now, so we have this arc, and this arc belongs to the column, and the door is more the inside. So this roundy part, like it's more outside. And then the door is even more, so there is even some other stuff going in there. So, okay, now I get something here a bit wrong, confused. Okay, here I mixed one line in the arc. Yeah. So here, this like, so this column, this is central line of column going in. And then this diagonal line of column going inside. And then this curl line is here under. So, and then there is inside will be this door more. Yeah. And so I guess like we can spend a bit more time doing the door because we are not sketching bushes. The bushes we're going to do just in a very impressionist free way. So then it's okay to have the door a bit more elaborated. Even if you're gonna like later, you're gonna maybe cover some areas like this left side with the bushes. Yeah, and now also, for example, what I've noticed, feel also the proportions of the door. Like now I've tried to fill up my arc with the door, but then it feels it's too wide. So then actually like, yeah, because in general, we all are more or less, we have this feeling of the door that it's more, of course, like taller, and also it's not that square. I'm not sure if you hear, but I have the dog in the apartment barking. And let me see. Okay, maybe some details on the balcony. One can also pre-sketch. Yeah, this just those openings. Okay, and now maybe last one more check with the path. And, like, is it maybe too big, too small? I don't know. Maybe a bit more. This and stairs maybe also if it feels that needs correction. Yeah, like doing the stairs, then we kind of, so of course there is upper part where we step, and the side part, you know, like that brings like level on top. And then like it's always depends like what, in which position you are, then either you see a lot this top area, or the opposite, you almost don't see it. and you see just this frontals, like if you're standing higher or maybe you're sitting lower. Yeah, so here the view is like as if I'm standing here at the start of this path, and I'm standing, so my eyes viewed, and I see those tops, yeah, of so you can make these lines a bit wider, yeah, but can already have it to match. Yeah, so like doing those lines for the stairs, just like kind of go one and tell yourself, okay, here I'm standing, here is like the side, okay, here again, this one where I'm gonna be stepping. Yeah, and then just like, since it's good, we make just two, 3 steps there, no more. Okay, I think that's more or less it. And so what I will do now, I will lighten up my pencil sketch, because, as I said, our plan is to make this area very light. So I'm going to be using very watery, transparent colors. And I really don't want this pencil to shine through. So, yeah, I erase to the level, like, of course, I can see still where I have all my columns and balconies and everything, but then it will not be disturbing, yeah, for yeah, like those areas that want to be like dark, you don't really need this, but for light ones, so. And let's go. So that's first thing I will be putting very pale, and in this case can be whatever, like maybe you prefer or have in hand. I have one more, a bit more like peachy, one a bit pinkish. Maybe I go with this one a bit warmer. Can also mix, yeah, and even to this one I will add a bit white, so it's like really as light as, yeah, as it can be. So it just kind of, there's also yellowish. Maybe I'll put more yellowish. It feels like pinky a bit, but somewhere it's warm. I like there are somewhere these yellowish things. For yellow, like very little yellow and much more white. And I used to have one really cool color that I'm trying to find right now. Here, I bought it, and the name is, okay, it's Napoli yellow. I always like it's always funny, like with each brand the Naples yellow is different. So here it's like so pale yellow you barely can see. This one is kind of orangey, so on. Like each one has different story, and yeah, so Naples yellow, one of the trickiest. Yeah, so here it's basically like beige, pale beige. Okay, yeah, and so this is our base set. Yeah, and so what you can do, so either you mix it with white, either you can also use just more water for it to be transparent for your paint. I think even like second, using water sometimes it's better, because we still have our paper that is white that is working as yeah, it gives us this white effect, because it's with water, the paint we put, it's pretty much transparent, so white paper comes in the game as well. So here I'm just covering all my doors, so I'm not really making a headache at the moment where are going to be shadows or something. Just all this area I'm covering with this very pale, because then later I will save some areas as light, and somewhere, of course, then I'll put something more shadows and so on. So here I have this my square, and here now I have yellow, but it's still too bright. I'm going to mix it with some white and maybe some strokes of yellow somewhere. And it feels freshy on the stairs, maybe some stroke on balcony, on the and actually what I'm going to also do, I'm going to do also a bit of this base coverage behind the bushes. Maybe because even like yellow, it's always very, it's always a bit too much of it. But now kind of I'm cleaning my brush and putting this yellow here also on the sides, because then it will shine through, and then it will be kind of, I think also we're still thinking what we're gonna do with bushes, but and it's actually a very common technique that I think orange is most popular, that you just put the base color as orange, and then you do your drawing on top. And even if kind of almost everything is covered with other color, somehow it gives this shiny effect. And maybe straight away I'm gonna do my also path. So still kind of using this opportunity that it's still the first layer, the paper is clean. So then you try to put your colors as clean as possible. Because to darken them, you can there is always room for darkening. Here I have very beautiful color called Indian yellow. And I'm gonna do my path. So now again, I'm doing my orange, but it's pretty much transparent. So later, if I want, I can darken up where I need, but because I mean, of course, you can paint like with acrylics on top, like let's say when it's dry, I can put on top the other color, but then it's never going to be that clean. So of course, if I have some dark, then I put maybe white paint on top, and then I put the color I need, but it will be already anyway something. So I always value and I always try to save those areas, and it's kind of, you just put more paint around, and it kind of helps your brain to not go into these areas, and so I mean, rather than keeping them white as paper and going just around with darker tones, then I always get inside. Okay, very pale, but in the end I kind of covered almost all my paper. And let's go then just for other parts. That would be well, I think I would like to go with maybe some shadows, but shadows again light. So I will put pale purple, pale blue. And I mean, and what will be the purpose of these shadows now? That they will help us to form the 3D feeling of the doors, but they are still this pale story. So wait till the end to put the accents in dark colors. Yeah, because again, this one you can do any moment. And here already I'm changing for a bit smaller brush, because what my aim is just to get there in some areas in between the doors and this column. Yeah, just to kind of, so let's say taking my, so of course, like under the arc is always the shadow. Yeah, it's generally, I mean, the sun is on top, so it's hard to have this part in light. I mean, unless you have like it's evening and then you have, maybe there are some lightnings on the walls and, but this garden, this area entrance is. So here, and yeah, and then from so it's all, when you put shadows, it's always kind of good just in your head, but sometimes even like it's useful to actually, I don't know, even like you put something, put another brush and tell yourself, okay, where the light is coming from. Yeah, so in this picture, light is coming from this direction. My brush, yeah. So then it helps me, then I always say, okay, light is there, then it means here will be more shiny, and so actually like it's coming from this, but it's coming more from also, I would say, no, actually from here. It's a good question where it's coming from, because we see a lot of shadow on this side. Yeah, I would say kind of here. No, so more. I'll hold it like a bit 3D in the air for the moment. Yeah, because then we see here the shadow from the bushes coming from this side. Yeah, but still like the frontal part of the house is lighter and this side of the column is a bit more shadowish. So, and now at the moment I'm mixing here this pale purple with this kind of pale grayish blue. And actually, so I'm gonna put now this grayish blue also where the windows are, because I'm still not sure I want to do them that dark as they are in this painting. So I'm just gonna like do this color, and then later I'm gonna and maybe like some lines where the stairs are. Yeah, but then again, like before putting the line, just tell yourself, okay, this is there, I'm stepping in, and this can be in the light, but this maybe side line can be, and then and it doesn't have to be like that precise, but still, if it's then it's a bit darker here where this left side of balcony, because then it's this column area is giving more shadow. Yeah, but the same area on the other side is lighter. Yeah, so exactly because of the construction, this corner. Yeah, so we'll see. So our aim of putting all these parts, so that in the end we can feel that there is gate, the door is more inside. Yeah, and you see how interesting. Then the upper part of balcony is actually the opposite. There is shadow on the other side of the corner, because it's probably kind of, yeah, there is this inside part of balcony, but interesting. Okay. mean, I would. Okay, let's. Yeah, now I'm trustful because in my opinion, still the left corner should be darker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and remember, like, to use more water so you can just dilute the parts and so kind of then it helps to show something is lighter. So here, maybe again a bit more. Okay, here I have this pinkish that I haven't used. It can come maybe a bit in the game in between these shadow areas. Then it maybe will feel a bit more colder there or something. Yeah, this pink is too transparent. Another one. And so still like kind of be patient to give a bit more elaborative time for the door. Yeah, because then with the bushes we can go kind of quick and maybe more fun as well. And so with the bushes maybe it's also we'll see. Yeah, maybe like the quickest it might even look maybe nicer. Yeah, but then it's always good when some areas are still like kind of more thought more precisely. Now I have a wish for a bit more, not that gray bluish, but a bit more maybe brighter. But not so much. Yeah? So again, if like in somewhere you put so much, then just quickly use a bit more water. Yeah, so then just kind of dilute it. And also paper towel is a good helper. And just kind of yeah, and then just like from time to time, try to check, like sit a bit more far away in your chair and check, like, does it look 3D? Like which maybe area is still not in this. One can also kind of prepare and do a bit more of this shadow on the path that will come from bushes. Yeah, because this shadow is also a bit, it's kind of pale. Yeah, so can also come at this stage of work. So that doesn't mean we need to first to do the bushes, then the shadow. I mean, since we're using reproduction, then kind of yeah, we can cheat a little bit this way. Yeah? And what happens when we put a bit more, too much like water to acrylics? So of course it helps then become this half transparent and so on. But then of course kind of what happens, you move it with the brush and the paint moves a lot, and sometimes you kind of you're getting back to the paper. Don't fight with this. So just kind of leave it and wait till it's dry, and then on top you can put again the layer that you need. Yeah, so like because it's just wet, and all you need just patience. Yeah, but sometimes it's easier to tell them to be done, because it happens to me as well. Kind of I have area, and then I want it, to I need to get the shadow or something there, so then it feels, of course, everything. But okay, something is starting to appear in our architectural drawing. Yeah, and of course also kind of unite. Yeah, this is something that comes in generally to painting anything. So details are important, still more important how it all looks together. So yeah, then let's say you did some lines where the balcony is, and then just take some color that can be like kind of half watery. So yeah, so it's not that covers completely, so it's not like creating completely new layer. It's the color I'm putting, but I still see the what was there before, but it unites. Yeah, so then you have like a general feeling of, okay, this shadow area. Yeah, so from time to time you need to do this uniting exercise, because in the end it's more important than details. Like the whole perception of your painting, it's more always of all together rather than details. Details are important, but the whole feeling of your painting is much more important. Huh? And, yeah, because you can also, for example, imagine, like, remember yourself when you're in a museum, in art gallery, and especially like if you're entering the new room, so you still don't know what paintings are there, and maybe there are some paintings on your side. Yeah, so with your side view, you already see them, and like which ones catch your attention, and usually it will always be the paintings that have this holiness. Yeah, so because first you see it all together, and just as the second step, you come closer and you start exploring some details and what's going on there. Yeah, so if you don't have this holiness all together, like as one piece, yeah, then, well, I mean, of course, there can be discussions, and it can be also a purpose, maybe sometimes with some art. Yeah? Okay, I got a bit tired with the door, so I will take a break. I mean, later one can always come back and do some corrections. But okay, maybe one last check of this light and shadow story. Okay. Yeah, so also maybe some areas became more dry, so you can do like maybe the second layer somewhere where it's needed. Yeah, let's also check. Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna make a plan what's gonna be for the bushes. So first, what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just turn around my palette. So all these lighter parts I'm gonna keep in case I'm gonna use them again. And now I'm gonna put on all the colors that feel appealing to me to do these colorful bushes, and includes, so it can include very unusual spontaneous colors. So I have silver, I have gold, I have ultramarine, I have deep rose color, and some siennas and ochre. Okay, this emerald somehow, even I said no green, but let's pretend it's in the blue story. And okay, one last look in my painting box. If something maybe comes into play as well. Maybe these also turquoise, yeah. Nice. And then my idea would be, okay, anyway, I'll put first the colors on my palette, but then I'll try to organize them in my palette, lighter and darker ones, yeah, because then of course later we're gonna start mixing all in between. Yeah, so first, like, let's say I put one of these, yeah, the ones that are kind of in the same story. Here I have like these turquoise and some of those blues. Yeah, so they will represent also some shadow areas. Yeah, because again, the same old story, light and shadow. Because it helps us to give this volume, the 3D feeling. And with bushes especially, yes, deep inside there are shadows, there is darker, so there is probably maybe in the end we just go with some brown. And okay, maybe it's enough. Ultramarine can wait. And then on the other side I'm gonna put something, yeah, this deep rose definitely talks to me. Like there are very nice some brownish red areas. Yeah, so maybe I'll put a dot of red as well, just to have it mixed. I have here copper. Yay. Copper is coming for sure. And so, and the third level, then I'm putting, so I have this bluish area, then I have this reddish area, and now I'm gonna go with this orangey yellow part. And now I'm thinking if I shall go first. I think I should go first with palette knife, just creating some, let's say, areas. So before, like, till I have these all these paints, till they're separated clean in all those little piles. And then later on they're mixed, then I go with brush. Okay, silver, nah. Maybe later with some on top. Yeah, I can see here also some interesting parts. Alrighty. And I have a palette knife. Now, also kind of, I got a set, and this is a bit a new one in the shape to use, and I'll try to use this short border. or maybe like, so it has this short and longer, let's say. But before, of course, just to meditate a bit and predict how you want it, how you want those colors. And I'm thinking, yeah, but anyway, going with lighter ones probably still first. And so here there is reddish kind of more to the middle. And then here, like to the middle of the painting, so closer to the path. And there is some like this lighter bluish parts and darker on the side. And well, anyway, just kind of go and okay, maybe I'll start actually with this gold, this sienna and ochre parts. Let's see what it I just like kind of grab. So here, so I just grabbed a bit. And okay, I'll start doing some strokes. So I'm looking at this and I'm kind of following a bit the shape of the tree of this bush. So it's not like really just kind of just random strokes. But yeah, so for example, for the start, yeah, and then maybe I'm gonna grab some other one here, maybe copper, because red feels still a bit too strong to start. And yeah, and then of course, like the first strokes you put with palette knife, it's pretty much they're pretty much intense, like, but then keep on using, like it feels already no more paint on palette knife, but keep on scratching because then it gives this nice okay, I've created so also a little bit the shape. So here is kind of one big bush. Yeah, it's also probably maybe I will later need. Now I've just noticed a very cool color underneath of this tree. Yeah, and actually in light, that is logical. If we said, okay, the shadow coming from here. So maybe also before and then later continue, I will come back and do here this line that's actually cool, this kind of, there are some yellow strokes and pale turquoise. Huh? Nice. So maybe I'll just kind of, no, okay, I'll let it dry a bit and I'll continue now with the same story. So I'll take maybe the same, this ochre, and what's also sometimes nice I like to do, I grab like two colors with my palette knife. So separately one, separately another, maybe here, yeah. And then, but then I go doing strokes here and they start mixing on the paper, and then they don't mix completely. They're mixing kind of in half strokes and it looks cool. And now here I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna follow the shape here, this one vertical tree. So kind of nicely composition, yeah, it kind of gives. And then here is like smaller vertical lines. So here are more like this diagonal, here's vertical, and on top is something like more fun coming there. So yeah. And yeah, and palette knife, I don't know, I think it's either you like it or you hate it. But also maybe, yeah, you don't like it, but if you give it a bit more chance, more time to practice, so it's kind of can become one of your nice. And I will prolong, yeah, so make like compositionally make it a bit longer with this nice. Feels a bit autumnly at the moment. Okay, maybe a bit of gold here, because here it feels a bit like also a bit lighter. Yeah, and also feel like maybe to change. So for example, here I did shorter strokes, and here maybe I can try to move my palette knife a bit longer. So then it just, you know, because it should also look different. And and now here I'm gonna try to do, this is already a bit more darker. Which color, which color? But now I feel I want to make them not that bright. So I'm gonna take one, became one of my favorites as well to use. The name is Wedgwood. Probably maybe another brand, the name could be different, but pale grayish blue. Very nice too. So I'm gonna use this one, and I'm gonna mix it a bit with one of those very bright, these emerald and these darker blues. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also try to mix it with like in a palette knife style. So I'm gonna put it somewhere here. Oh, here I put it. Let's see how it works. Also experiment. Yeah, and don't forget to clean palette knife. Yeah, so just kind of dipping in the water and wiping. This is what I like palette knives, so easy to clean. Yeah, I mean, okay, acrylics are not hard to clean in general, but if it's oil paints, I think oil paints can be worked mainly with palette knife. I mean, brushes are so grabbing. Maybe now also I'm gonna change, take maybe a longer side of my palette knife, and I'm gonna grab this pale, see how it works, and maybe some of these bluish, and I grabbed, maybe it's match. So this is what I kind of got on my palette knife, and I'm aiming now for the bushes here. So there's like some little trees. So let's see the ones that maybe are. Let's see. Oh. Something. Yeah. So give it time. Give it time. Don't judge me yet. Yeah, I definitely liked working with shorter area better of my palette knife. Then I can get shorter strokes. So just trying to make a pine tree with this. Yeah, so palette knife is kind of, you kind of have control, but there is also kind of lots of room of, yeah, that's something you get by chance. And exactly, actually, lots of these areas are cool, like you wouldn't make it with a brush, and just by this accidental mix. Yeah, especially if you do like this, when you put on your palette knife 2 different colors, and then it's unexpectedly. Okay, changing different blue a bit. A bit dark, a bit dark. Okay, this one will go, but it can go already now a bit here in between of those. Yeah, and also, like, for example, now I feel maybe I'm being a bit too cautious. Maybe I should go actually in a bit more bigger areas. But one can jump, yeah. So one can in some moments do maybe try to do again, like from details, yeah, and then again just kind of overviewing, try to overview the whole story. Okay, something. But of course, also careful with not overdoing or yeah. So it's easy to define. Well, in this moment, like if you feel it's getting worse, then just stop, and then it's gonna be think it over and okay. Some yeah. Okay, now I feel putting a bit more this light on the grass, because then I'm afraid I'm gonna like overdo the darkness of bushes. So I'm gonna just take maybe so these turquoise I have, and so this one will be go a bit more here, maybe like, yeah, and again just watery transparent. And here I had a bit of yellow, so also a bit of like light. Yeah. And now I definitely feel I want my path to be more orangey. So I'm straight away gonna do a bit more. Because Impressionism is in the end, it's all about colors. So also what's the story of Impressionists is that what happened that what was the year 18 something or 86 or 68 something, it was invented the photo. Yes, so if earlier the artists, the painters, they earned the money because everyone wanted to have their own image, the portrait. Yeah, and then what you need the painter, you need someone who will do it. And then was invented the photography. So it meant that much more cheaper and much more people could afford it. And yeah, so suddenly the painters were like, oh, yeah, we're not in that need. So of course, then they had to reinvent themselves. And then if you say like the camera took the shape perfectly, yeah, so it then what they were left to, they were left for color. And that's why they started to all those colorful experiments. So they said, okay, now the shape is not, we're not competing with camera for shape, but we can compete with color. And then this is also all those, what happens that Impressionism, the color is the, yeah, and then it's was evolutioning even more, like then you, after Impressionism, okay, post-Impressionism, that is Van Gogh, and then also like Fauvism. So I've skipped the name. Matisse, Henri Matisse, of course, yeah. He is definitely was simplifying the shape at most, and using more like already bold yeah, colors and okay, need to think and plan. I'm a bit afraid to go straight away with all those red if they're not going to be too bright. Okay, I will be chicken, and I'll mix them first with white, and then later I'm gonna do a bit of great weight of that. Also, so here I have this pinkish, And yeah, still continue. I'm gonna continue a bit with palette knife. Yeah, there is no rule that like you need to do everything with palette knife. I mean, I actually like to go with parallel. Yeah, so if there is something palette knife is not being helpful, then I just easily go and change for the brush and help myself with the. Oh, nice! I like that here now, like a mixed. So I got this pink. Yeah, brings some freshness, and then later I can add some darker red details. Karen, what's on your side with, I don't know, house and bushes and
Just having some fun.
well, that was no doubt. Do you use palette knife as well?
I'm definitely using palette knife. I like using a palette knife.
Yes.
Kind of think I might have to let things dry a bit at the moment, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just work wet and wet. Does look a bit like an explosion of fireworks.
In front of your doorway. The door looks like peacefully there, you know. Yeah, so kind of one of my sides stayed very reddish, pink red. This one has more blue, so I'm bringing a bit more red also to this side, but also not too much. So then of course I will have some also, yeah. So they kind of have this interaction. But what I also like, so in acrylics, is that you do all those strokes, let it dry, and then once it's dry, you can take brush, and then it's so easy to fill up those areas in between. So again, then you take kind of watery condition, and then it just fills up all your emptinesses, and then you get like, okay, I need this area darker or something. But then you still have all those cool stripes of palette knife. They are still present. So. And okay, thinking of next steps for colors. Maybe some. And I think today's work and color choice can go like trying to trust your intuition. But then of course, like don't rush, you know, like if you're in the moment that, okay, now I need a new color or something, just sit a bit, think, try to get this. Yeah, and again, the rule applies that if some area just by accident got cool, some color mix or something, don't touch it. Don't try to improve it. Just yeah, I mean, it comes always with those sudden effects of palette knife and but then just like, yeah, because especially if it's like just one stroke, but once you try to put in more strokes, then it's like, it feels then tired and so. Okay, I found her signature. She signed there in the corner where the grass is. Okay, something starting to get in the. So now I'm gonna do this what I was doing previously. So just kind of filling up emptinesses. So then kind of maybe we can have already the more finished feeling of all the bushes. So then it's kind of, you go for the accent. But then of course, it's the question to choose the color. And actually care also can be interesting. So what we're going to be doing now, like filling up the emptinesses. And what color should it be? It can be even gold or silver or bronze, but in a watery condition, they will also shine. Maybe some, again, this orangey things. This one. Oh. I experiment. So of course, in general, it's like something a bit more neutral, but actually maybe today can be something more surprisingly active. And then it. So since I'm also like not sure yet, so the same story, like just assume which color can match, and then just go and try in some corner, and if it works, continue. If it doesn't, then go for another. Well, must say, I'm still happy with my progress. I'm still not disappointed.
I'm chatting with my mute on. I quite like mine.
That's good.
Unusual.
Mhm. Well, in this case, I'm already curious to see the progress.
It does still look like an explosion, but I do quite like it. The explosive quality. Juxtaposes really quite well with the peacefulness of the door.
Mm. But it can be hard. Now I found a bit this philosophical explanation that the door is your inside world where you come in after the busy world, and that's the
Ah.
where you go and kind of you get inside yourself and in peace and harmony.
And that would.
And it's good when you need, you go out and it's all active, but then you have your inner
world.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a world.
Mm-hmm. I also had an idea that one day when we can experiment and try to paint the wind.
Oh wow, that would be fun.
Hmm?
That would be fun.
So what? And then the next thing I'm thinking, should it be then abstract or object or half? So the feeling maybe of like a bit here, you kind of get the feeling it's trees, and although they are more like just spots, or yeah, I think how you can depict wind. But of course, it could be very challenging. I think it's easier to show the wind, of course, with objects. You just kind of shape them, but in abstract way. So you get this feeling of.
But also, the wind is different things on different days, isn't it? You know, you can have a light summer's breeze that is really lovely and cooling and just what you need, and then you can have a storm coming in off the Atlantic and it's just wild and you can't stand up.
And I think and actually like a storm is easier also to show rather than breeze.
Yeah.
Because the feeling of breeze is so subtle. You walk and then just suddenly like, yeah, you get this like, oh, yeah, so catching this. Okay, I still need to kind of sum up my composition.
I'm going to send you a picture of mine. I need to wash my hands before I touch my phone.
Oh, because you were painting with your fingers.
Well, my fingers have got messy, as they usually do. Oh. What I like about it, and it's very odd for me to say I like something about it, is that but the bushes on the right feel further forward than the bushes on the left.
Let's see. Okay. Ooh, nice one. That's an I really feel how your door is they're deep inside, and yeah, and definitely this bush is closer. This is more far away. Yeah, and how you reach it, composition. Yeah, so of course, and I like how upper part you have like less paint, so it feels more sun and air there. Ah, Karen, I really wow, cool.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it, I have to say. I kind of almost feel I need to stop as well. What do you think there's anything else? I think the path needs something, but I'm not quite sure what.
So you're definitely right. Now is the moment also to take it a bit more careful. I would definitely not touch this upper part. It feels like too perfectly that there is light shining. So if touching something that may be, let's say, yeah, not sure actually, like, because scared a bit to ruin, of course. And
It's only a bit of paper.
yeah. Looking from far away. I don't know, maybe if it feels a bit more, I mean, you can maybe like with a tiny brush elaborate the door a bit. I don't know if it makes sense. Also, like, but then it will maybe, now it's nicer, it feels more far away, being more blurred. No, I'm sorry, Karen. I'm afraid to give any kind of too big responsibility to ruin such amazing.
Thank you. I'm honoured that you just phrase it quite that way.
Because now I see it yours and mine, and I was like, well, I didn't went just with limited palette for trees, and I made it some craziness. But
that's the difference between the way you paint and the way I paint. This has been a joy and easy because it's so free.
But your one very like it's inviting your painting, you know. It's like when you look at it and it has this inviting feeling. Although the door could be a bit maybe like just like emotionally maybe a bit more lighter or something, but
yeah,
because it feels maybe the house is no one at home.
Yeah,
Like no one at home for a long time.
maybe come in with some of the ochres, just a very wishy-washy.
Maybe, yeah. But it can also be like, you know, the feeling when you traveled a lot and you're coming back to your home that like maybe was by itself for half a year, and then it's like, hey, how you doing?
The garden's really overgrown.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, this is a hard job of artists, to know to stop, to improve, and so on.
I'm definitely going to use palette knife more. I definitely need to do something with the path as well.
Hmm. Yeah, and definitely looks good that on the left your it has this vertical, yeah, bush, yeah, and there are those diagonals. Yeah, I think I also need to improve a bit, come back to this vertical feeling a bit here. Well, I'm still not giving up on mine, so
Absolutely. And I'm actually have just decided what I'm doing with the path, so I'm going to do that.
and then of course it's good to use parallel, maybe different brushes. Yeah, especially when you reach the level of like dark tones, so it's then just more comfy instead of washing it. Just Well, now it in my turn to doubt. Finish or continue. I mean, even if especially if you take off the tape. I mean, of course, there is always room for some touch-ups, but
I really like it.
thank you, Karen. Yeah, I find it interesting. Something.
What do you not like about it?
And still maybe kind of really the same. Maybe this area a bit kind of not.
See,
something.
That's the bit I really, really like. That bit where the bushes seem to be doing this. And it's the other side which feels less planty, less like plants.
Yeah. I agree. So here maybe I feel this story that I was talking, this holiness, this kind of looking all like. So maybe I still will try to find some color and just kind of maybe unite a little bit. So it feels to me that it's too distracted and there is like not sure.
Yeah.
Kind of bring a bit them all together,
but then they're different plants. And different plants are different colours.
Yes.
If it helps, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm taking a very bright yellow and I'm just putting in tiny, tiny little highlights.
Yeah, this one is always also helps. But you see, did you felt how careful you should be with protecting this light?
Yeah.
It's like once you lose it,
there's no bringing it back.
No, and also canvas same like so if you plan especially this effect of light, protected.
I really like your shadows. I really like those blue shadows.
Like this like which ones?
Well, particularly the ones on your right,
These
under the
ones.
big tree. Yeah.
I agree, and I'm also now like I saw them and I said I will be careful not to touch them, and I think they play a little bit good, like this pinkish and this, so in combination they kind of worked nicely. And what I liked also here, I played a little bit with the path, so I went with this dry brush and went just kind of a bit reddish orangey, but here I left more what was at the start, more yellowish pale orange, so kind of maybe. But now this corner needs to be integrated maybe a bit. Okay, a bit more touch-ups,
I was tidying out in the studio last night and I came across some of the first pictures I did with you guys.
What was it? Which ones?
It was a bird with a black head on a branch. I think that was probably the very first one. And then there was a rabbit with eggs.
So sweet. Yes, with Darren, we paint a lot of birds. I think it's their one of favorite topics, of course. And if there is moment, I ask them, okay, guys, what should we paint? Birds would be the answer, yeah. But
Yeah.
and yeah, I remember we experimented different. What other paintings do you remember?
Oh, there was one. Was it a god sat on a rock on a mountain?
Wow.
I can't remember whether it was a god or not. It was very large. He was very large and looked like he was just growing out of the mountain. But mine was terrible. I actually threw it away last night.
Curious. I'm trying now to remember which painting was it? But it was like a colorful sky.
No, it was
No?
it was all quite dark, quite blue.
Very curious.
You said that I remember you saying that actual painting is huge.
Yes. It was mainly it's like the figure sitting.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a copy. I'm going to show you now. It was a copy of one famous Russian painter, and I actually am a kind of fan of his. And his name is Vrubel. And at his time, he was also like not understood by society. It felt like she's doing some weird stuff. And so was it? Yeah. So was it this guy?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this one is so yeah, Vrubel. And the painting name is The Demon Seated. And he has kind of three paintings. One is demon, I think he's like flying, then sitting, and the third one is demon defeated. And yeah, this is.
And his name is, did you say it was Bruegel?
Say again?
Bruegel?
Vrubel. So it's like starts with V, then Rubel. So it's like surname, and Michael, I think is his name. I'll search and send the group the link or something.
And then there was a hopper we did, wasn't there? That was back in the summer, I think.
Ooh, we should come back to Hopper one day.
We should definitely come back to hopper.
Yeah. Because Hopper is painting light, like it's
Yeah.
Actually, I have signed up. There is one group on Facebook, and I don't remember, like something is inspired by Hopper, and people post their both photos and paintings that kind of is in a Hopper style, that it's like really something. And then the light. So the light is actually the main hero of the story, and I think Elsa was reading about him, and he said, like, if I I'll be painting just light. And I think this is such a cool topic to choose, like I'm painting light. So it's like...
And that's what we should do. We should do some painting light as well as our painting wind. Right, I need to stop, I think, and I take another photograph.
Agreed. Agreed, meaning I'm talking about myself that I should
You
stop.
need to stop, yes. I realised.
I still can't believe it's like the more you paint and experiment with art, the more stuff you have in front of you to paint and experiment.
Yeah.
It's like the hole, the more you dig, the bigger it gets. Because it's all those ideas and everything coming.
I don't think that was very steady. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, it's all right. Might have overdone the yellow now. It looks much brighter on the photograph than it does in real life. I should send it to you anyway. You'll say I've overdone it now.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna very quickly take off the tape and then.
Yeah, too much yellow. Shouldn't have done it. Should have stopped.
Should I? Wait and see. I'm already glimpsing. Just 1 second. Yeah, the tape is off. Nice. Okay, I'm pretty much happy.
Good. Yes, I see what you mean. You have brought more of that, the turquoise down into the front there, didn't you?
Exactly. Oh, good eye. I did took like turquoise and just kind of, yeah. And let's take a look how more yellow you mean. Yeah. I'm trying. I need to look them at both together, the previous and. You mean you had a bit more yellow? Yeah, there. Yeah, because like the upper part, but not. I mean, I don't see like something hugely.
I think the yellow is more obvious on the photograph than it is when you look at it in real life.
Okay, then it's not an
Said that already, but
issue. But anyway, looking from far away, nice. Yeah, and imagine also like that in some moment our paintings that let's say was successful, recreate them on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Take this and then just take 3 to 3 meters, let's say.
Yeah.
It would be. Then it would be
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay! Cool, Karen. Thank you for this.
No, thank you.
Inspirational.
Really pleased. And I think it's the first time I've ever finished one in group.
You see? You are getting there.
Getting faster.
Everything comes with practice.
Yes.
Awesome, Karen. Then we have lots of ideas. Wind hopper. We should write. I should start taking notes, but cool. See you in the next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Awesome. Bye-bye, Karen.
Bye.
Cool. And bye-bye, everyone. Join us for painting.